What's up? What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. Now, obviously, everybody knows that Brittany Griner has been released from prison in Russia, where she was found to have weed cartridges. There was a prisoner exchange yesterday morning. Brittany Griner was released for the so-called merchant of death. Now, obviously, this man has been in custody of the United States, and a lot of people are up in arms. And they're saying, how could you, this is not an even release. And on the surface, and at face value, I would agree. But me knowing the United States, we don't know if this guy's still the merchant of death no more. We know that there's all type of different torture tactics, psychological, physical, and things that the United States government do within the CIA, FBI, and all type of other government black groups that can break a man's will psychologically. You have no idea if they sent the same man back that they captured. I'm assuming they're not. This is all alleged, but I'm assuming that they're not. Now, I've made several different videos on Brittany Griner, but the last one I made, I gave a prediction on if I thought they would keep her or not. So before we go into this video on Brittany Griner, of her release today, I'm going to go back and listen to about 15 seconds of my prediction about what I think was going to happen to Brittany Griner. We're going to go to, let's see. I think it's about 9:55. Let's take a listen. Government. So, look, Brittany Griner, she'll never do 9 years in prison. She won't. They'll eventually make a trade for her, but she might have to sit down and do some time. When you go, and you heard that right there. I said Brittany Griner never do 9 years. Never. Eventually, they'll make a trade. Let's listen one more time, then we're going to go to the video. 7, they gave her 9, but you got to realize America is doing everything to crush the Russian government. Everything to crush the Russian government. So, look, Brittany Griner, she'll never do 9 years in prison. She won't. They'll eventually make a trade for her, but she might have to sit down and do some time. When you go, this is some advice to everybody, not just black. When you go to other countries, you better know what the laws and rules and regulations and stipulations, and you better see what the political landscape is before you take your ass over there. Yeah, I mean, you know, Negro Damas at it again. She'll never do 9 years. Eventually, they'll make a trade, and that's exactly what happened. Now, there are a lot of people up in arms in the United States because there was another guy who was a former Marine, if I'm not mistaken, who also a lot of people wanted to be a part of the trade. And what dawned on me this morning, it's amazing it took me this long to dawn on me, that this guy's he's a real spy. Well, what makes it so obvious is that the United States aren't up in arms. They're not fighting this super hard. And the Russians are not even entertaining the idea of sending him back. Yeah, to them, it's a joke. I think both sides know this guy is a spy, allegedly. Well, let's take a look. We're going to see if we can catch some clues in here that the other guy that they also wanted part of this package deal was never, ever, ever going to be part of these negotiations. Let's take a look.
WNBA star and Olympic gold medalist Brittany Griner has been released from a Russian prison. CBS News was the first to report that the 32-year-old's freedom was brokered in a one-for-one prisoner swap for convicted Russian arms dealer Victor Bout. But one person notably missing from the deal is former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan. He has been...
Now, in the movie, CIA agents and spies, they look like James Bond. They're good looking, they're handsome, they have natural charm and charisma. They're good with the ladies. They only drink the finest alcohol. They eat steak and lobster. They know exactly what fork to use at the dinner table. But in real life, the best spies look like everyday people. And this man looks like he teaches at a high school. perfect spy. So, I mean, you have to realize that there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, but if you listen closely and you use your keen common sense and you're able to, lean in, you'll get an understanding that, yeah, this guy is a spy. Look at his sweater. His sweater says substitute teacher. That's a spy.
And in Russian custody for over 4
Allegedly.
years on espionage charges. President Biden says he will never give up on securing Whelan's release. CBS News Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Margaret Brennan reports.
I'm glad to be able to say that Brittany's in good spirits. She's relieved to finally be heading home.
Gathered in the Oval Office, President Biden and Brittany Griner's wife Sherelle spoke by phone with the 32-year-old basketball star once she had been handed over.
Today I'm just standing here, overwhelmed with emotions.
Russian state media showed video of...
And they cut Brittany Griner dreadlocks off too. So she came back looking more like an NBA player than a WNBA player. Unbelievable.
Swap on the tarmac at Al Bateen Airport in Abu Dhabi. Griner and convicted arms dealer Victor Bout walked towards one another and then headed to separate planes home. In Russian video filmed days earlier, Griner is seen signing what appears to be release forms.
Do you know where I'm heading to? No. You fly back home to the US.
President Biden.
Man, when they asked her that, it wasn't a bunch of excitement on her face, but she's probably a little apprehensive too, because when you're in these people custody, you probably have no idea if they're telling you the truth, if they're lying, or what. But she looked. You would think you would get more excitement, but I can understand the apprehension.
It agreed last week to free Bout in order to bring Griner home. It follows months of public pressure from Griner's fellow athletes and quiet contact between the CIA and Russian intelligence, who exchanged messages between Vladimir Putin's Kremlin and Mr. Biden. Throughout the summer, the Biden administration had tried to bring home both Griner and 52-year-old Paul Whelan, a private corporate security contractor who had been imprisoned for 4 years on espionage charges. But Russia refused.
I wish that...
Now, mind you, he's been over there long before the Ukraine and Russian war. So that lets me know that there's more to meet the eye. There's a little bit more to this story. That's why I say allegedly. My belief is that he is a spy.
Paul Whelan had been on that plane too.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
We got to the point where it was clear that there was an opportunity to bring Brittany back. The choice wasn't between getting one American or the other back. It was the choice before us was one or none.
See what I told you. The Russians, the Russians were never even considering sending him back. At least not for one guy who they don't even know what the American government has been doing to him, and a WNBA player. They like, no way. If they want to get this guy back, they're going to have to sweeten the pot ×5. We want a real spy for a real spy. This other guy was an arms dealer, weapons maker. I mean, he wasn't a spy. He wasn't gathering information and, you know what I mean, that backdoor channel. A spy is equivalent to a sniper. When you catch these people, you want to punish them to the umpteenth degree. You know what I mean? Because you can do so much. A spy can do so much damage. It can bring down a whole government. One sniper can hold off 200 men at a distance. So yeah, spies and snipers, them type of people hold high value. And I would say spies even more than snipers, but I'm just giving you a comparison. You know what I mean? But these spies, man, they want them. And when they get them, they want to punish them.
Whelan was also left behind in April when the Biden administration negotiated the release of Marine veteran Trevor Reed. Today, a devastated Whelan spoke by phone from a Russian penal colony.
My treatment is also much different than
Now that I'm thinking about it, I do also want to mention, have anybody ever seen that movie Enemy at the Gates with little Sasha? Maybe I'm one of the few people who've seen that movie. But they got a movie called Enemy at the Gates of World War II, Stalingrad, the Russians versus the Germans. And Russia had a sniper named Vasily. And Vasily was causing so much havoc on the German military, they had to call out a retired sniper out of the Third Reich, a SS soldier. They had to call him out to deal with this sniper all the way from Germany and send him all the way to Russia. So that's how much power and that's how much chaos one of these people can cause.
Others held trust in other persons.
Meanwhile, Griner is en route to Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, where she will get an evaluation.
Today, my family is whole.
When they give you them evaluations too, believe me, it's psychological, physical, it's everything you can think of. They looking for bugs, chips. Did they send you back with some kind of disease? Did they psychologically try to manipulate you? Did they do some what they in our country is called MK Ultra mind control? Did they turn you into a terrorist? It's a lot that goes into that when she comes back, believe it or not. It's not simple. You don't just get off the plane, go hug your girlfriend, and you go back to your regular life. No, it's a process.
But as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole.
Secretary Blinken told me that this one-for-one swap was just a single transaction, nothing more and nothing less. In other words, this wasn't a diplomatic breakthrough that opens the door to other opportunities. It also isn't clear what card the U.S. can play next that would persuade Vladimir Putin to release Paul Whelan or at least one other American, Mark Fogel, who's being held on drug charges. The U.S. had offered a number of other Russian prisoners being held in the U.S. to the Kremlin as potential trades, but Russia insisted on one for one. Victor Bout was their priority.
And when they say one for one, what they saying is all of the people that Russia has, yes, it's open for negotiation. What the United States media is not telling you that the people that the Russian government is asking for, allegedly, the United States, there's not even a question that they're going to give them people up. That's why I say them giving this man up for a WNBA player, that raises my eyebrows, like The Rock. Yeah, my Negro spidey senses start tingling, my big toe start itching. Yeah, my eyes start my eyes start blinking too fast. It sets off a lot of alarms for me.
Margaret Brennan, CBS News, Washington.
For more on this, let's bring in CBS News Chief National Affairs Ninja.
But, I'm not going to go too far in this video. Fair use. I'm using this video for educational purposes in a transformative way. I'm not going to go too deep into this video and use this whole video. It's no sense in doing this. Obviously, she's coming home. And obviously, the other guy, Whelan, was, to me, a real spy. And they'll give him up as long as the price is right. I mean, you got to come with some Bob Barker shit. The price got to be right. And Russia's open for business, obviously. The United States is at war with Russia through proxy. And the United States understands that. And the United States understands that some of the people that the Russian government, the Russian Federation is asking for, there's not a snowball's chance in hell they're going to give them up. So if you think you finna get a spy for a goddamn a warehouse worker, you got your goddamn mind. They not having it. Yeah, they're going to need some big time shit. So them giving up a WNBA player for this guy, it was a great deal for Russia. You know what I mean? From their point. But, shout out to Brittany Griner and her family. I'm pretty sure they're happy she's back home. She's going to wrap herself in an American flag. She's going to go to sleep, listen to the Star Spangled Banner. And, she's happy to be home. United States ain't perfect, but it's a lot better than being in Russia. I can tell you that, than living in the gulags. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass, Brittany Griner, just escaped Russia ride. Peace.